Jonathan Harker's journal, May the 8th. I began to fear, as I wrote in this book, that I was getting too diverse. But now I'm glad that I went into detail from the first, for there is something so strange about this place, and all in it, that I cannot but feel uneasy. I wish I were safe out of it, or that I had never come. It may be that this strange night existence is telling on me, but were that not just all of it? If there were anyone to talk to, I could bear it, but there is no one. I only have the Count to speak with, and he... I am myself the only living soul within the place. Let me be prosaic so far as I can be. It will help me to bear up, and my imagination must not run riot with me. If it does, I am lost. Let me say how at once I stand, or how I seem to. I only slept a few hours when I went to bed, and feeling that I could sleep no more, got up. I'd hung my shaving glass on the window, and I was just beginning to shave. Suddenly I felt a hand on my shoulder, and heard the Count's voice saying, "Good morning." I started, for it amazed me that I had not seen him, since the reflection in the glass covered the whole room behind me. In starting, I'd cut myself slightly, but I did not notice at the moment. Having answered the Count's salutation, I turned the glass again to see how I could have been mistaken. This time there could be no error, for the man was close to me, but I could see him over my shoulder. But there was no reflection in the mirror. The whole room behind me was displayed, but there was no sign of a man in it, except myself. This was startling, and coming on the top of so many strange things was beginning to increase that vague feeling of uneasiness which I have always had when the Count is near. But at the instant I saw that I'd cut, and the cut had bled a little, and the blood was trickling over my chin. I laid down the razor, turning as I did so half to look for some sticking plaster. When the Count saw my face, his eyes blazed with a sort of demonic fury, and he suddenly made a grab at my throat. I drew away, and his hand touched the string of beads which held the crucifix. It made an instant change in him, for the fury passed so quickly I could hardly believe that it was ever there. "Take care," he said. "Take care how you cut yourself. It is more dangerous than you think in this country." Then, seizing the shaving glass, he went on, "And this is the wretched thing that has done the mischief. It is a foul bauble of man's vanity. Away with it!" And opening the heavy window with one wrench of his terrible hand, he flung out the glass, which was shattered into 1,000 pieces on the stones in the courtyard far below. Then he withdrew without a word. It's very annoying, for I do not see how I am to shave, unless in my watch case or at the bottom of a shaving pot, which is fortunately made of metal. When I went into the dining room, breakfast was prepared, but I could not find the Count anywhere, so I breakfasted alone. It is strange as yet that I have not seen the Count eat or drink. He must be a very peculiar man. After breakfast, I did a little exploring of the castle. I went out on the stairs and found a room looking towards the south. The view there was magnificent, and where I stood, there was every opportunity of seeing it. The castle was on the very edge of a terrible precipice. A stone falling from the window would fall 1,000 feet without touching anything. As far as the eye could reach is a sea of green treetops, with occasionally a deep rift where there is a chasm. Here and there are silver threads where the rivers wind in deep gorges through the forest. But I am not in heart to describe beauty. For when I had seen the view, I explored further. Doors, doors, doors everywhere, and all locked and bolted. In no place save from the windows in the castle walls is there an available exit. The castle is a veritable prison, and I am a prisoner.